Sarah Chen had been a nurse for 8 years, but St. Mercy's Hospital was testing every ounce of her professional composure. The hospital was old, built in 1952, expanded in the 70s, and slowly crumbling ever since. Budget cuts had reduced the night shift to a skeleton crew. 1 nurse per floor, 1 doctor on call, and a security guard who spent most of his time asleep at the front desk. Sarah had the 3rd floor, 28 rooms, too many patients for 1 person. But that was healthcare in 2024. It was her 5th night when she first noticed something wrong with room 237. The call button lit up at the nurses' station at exactly 3:47 a.m. Sarah sighed, pushed away from her paperwork, and walked down the dimly lit corridor. Room 237 was at the far end, near the emergency stairwell. As she approached, she noticed how cold it was. The thermostat must be broken again. She pushed open the door. "Mr. Patterson, what do you—" The room was empty. Not just vacant, empty. No patient, no equipment, no charts, just a bare bed with a thin mattress and a single call button mounted on the wall. Sarah stood in the doorway, confused. She could have sworn Mr. Patterson was still admitted. She checked her tablet. No, room 237 showed as unoccupied, had been for the past 3 days, according to the system. She returned to the nurses' station, unsettled but too tired to think much of it. Probably just a malfunction in the call button. She'd reported in the morning. The next night, 3:47 a.m., the button for room 237 lit up again. This time, Sarah didn't go immediately. She watched the light blink for a full minute before finally walking down the corridor. The cold was worse tonight. She could see her breath in the air near room 237. The door was closed. She definitely left it open last night. Sarah pushed it open slowly. Empty again. But this time, she noticed something. The impression on the mattress. As if someone had been lying there recently. And the call button cable, which should have been hanging loose, was positioned as if someone had just released it. Hello? Her voice sounded too loud in the silence. No response. Just the hum of the fluorescent lights and the distant beep of monitors from other rooms. Sarah backed out and closed the door. Then she went to the records room and started digging. What she found made her blood run cold. Jeremiah Patterson, age 67. Admitted 2 weeks ago with pneumonia. Room 237. Died 3 days ago at 3:47 a.m. Cause of death, cardiac arrest. No next of kin. Body transferred to county morgue. Sarah stared at the death certificate. The time of death matched exactly when the call button started going off. She told herself it was coincidence. Old hospitals had faulty wiring. The call button system was ancient. Probably cross signals or electrical interference. That's what she told herself as she went back to work. But at 3:47 a.m., the light for room 237 blinked on again. And this time, Sarah heard it. From down the corridor, a rasping cough, wet and labored. The same cough Mr. Patterson had during his final days. Every instinct told her not to go, but she was a nurse. If someone needed help, even if it made no sense, she had to check. The corridor felt longer than usual. The fluorescent lights flickered as she walked, casting strobing shadows. The cold intensified with each step until she could barely feel her fingers. The coughing grew louder. She reached room 237. The door was open a crack. Yellow light spilled through, but room 237 didn't have a lamp. The light fixtures had been removed days ago. Sarah pushed the door open. The room was occupied. A man lay in the bed, turned away from her, facing the wall. Grey hair, thin shoulders under a hospital gown. An IV stand beside the bed, though there was no IV bag attached. And that cough, that terrible rattling cough. Mr. Patterson. Sarah's voice came out as a whisper. The coughing stopped, slowly, so slowly. The figure in the bed turned toward her. It was him, Jeremiah Patterson, but wrong. His skin had the waxy pallor of death. His lips blue tinged. His eyes were open but clouded, seeing nothing and everything. When he spoke, his voice was like wind through a crypt. Nurse, I pressed the button. Each word came with effort, as if speaking through water. It hurts. Please, make it. Stop. Sarah couldn't move, couldn't breathe. This was impossible. He was dead. She'd seen the death certificate. She'd watched them wheel his body out herself 3 nights ago. You're not real, she managed. You're not... It hurts. The corpse in the bed reached toward the call button. Every night, I wake up, and it hurts. Why won't anyone come? His finger pressed the button. The light at the nurses' station down the hall flickered on, off, faster and faster, like a heartbeat accelerating into cardiac arrest. I pressed the button. I pressed and pressed, but no one came. Sarah remembered now. That night, 3 days ago, she'd been overwhelmed. 2 patients coding at once. A fall on the other end of the floor. The call light for 237 had been blinking, but she'd been running between emergencies. She planned to check on him as soon as she could. But by the time she got there... I'm sorry, she whispered. I'm so sorry. I was trying to... There were so many. I was alone. Alone. The word echoed in the cold room. Yes, we were both alone. The figure began to fade, becoming translucent. The yellow light dimmed. But before he disappeared completely, Jeremiah Patterson looked at her with those clouded eyes. The button. he rasped. Still so many pressing buttons, waiting. Can you hear them? And then he was gone. But Sarah could hear it now. Could hear it all. Throughout the hospital, through the walls, call buttons being pressed. Not by living hands. By the ones who'd waited too long, called out too many times into understaffed night shifts. The forgotten. The ones who died waiting for someone to come. The light for room 237 finally went dark, but other lights began to blink across the nurse's station panel. Room 118, room 204, room 316, one by one, dozens of them lighting up in sequence. 3:47 a.m. at St. Mercy's Hospital. The dead were calling, and Sarah was still alone on the night shift.